Hello, 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 and welcome to Review with Liz. Today's review I'm excited about. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The optimal word means share. Share the information with someone. If it if it if it if it helps you in some way, or even if you know somebody that it may help, hey, let's share the information. Today's review is on painfreedating.com. Dr. Conway Edwards. And I stumbled upon this. Let me not forget. Also, Jada Edwards is his wife, and they have an amazing, incredible program here. Before we get started, also, you know how the COVID thing is going on and such, and so I have my grandson here visiting with me this week because they had to sterilize their classrooms and everything. So if you hear a little bit of background today, we're going to excuse that because we're doing double duty today. Just wanted to get that out the way. But anyhow, let's get on back to the painfreedating.com. One of the things that caught my eye with this program, because it was so real and down to earth. Sometimes when we talk about, like his masterclass teaches the biblical principles of dating. And sometimes when we think about biblical principles or the way that the biblical concepts have been taught in the past, oftentimes we feel like, it's going to be, I want to say, condemnation or all these can't do's. But what I found when I took a glimpse at the master class, which he has a digital masterclass that is a 12 session course, and it talks about pain-free dating, single and thriving, the 5 proverbs of singles, the undercover woman, before love's in view, going up, taking the step towards a healthy marriage. So these are some of the resources that are available. But in that 12-week course, or that 12-session course, I saw quite a bit of meat there, things that you can actually, or principles that you can actually apply to your everyday life and to help you be single and thriving. So this review is really dedicated to all my single ladies, right? So the biblical principles that he's talking about, and not just my single ladies. Let me take that back or retract that. Let's moonwalk backwards. See, even single men, there's just some concepts in this whole thing about dating. Since you all know, that have watched my previous podcast, I took a 4-year sabbatical because I was like tired and sick and tired of bumping my head on the same brick wall and not getting the message, or really just taking a few lessons from my dating experience and not really getting a real lesson. What is this all about? And so when I stumbled upon this course, I was actually over there snooping around and picking around at Dear Future Wifey podcast with Latirius R. Whitfield, and there was an episode on there with Dr. Conway Edwards. And man, when I tell you, it blew my socks off. I was so excited to hear some of the things that he was talking about. And we'll get back to the painfreedating.com. We'll get back to that in just a second. But I want to share with you some of the things that I picked up from just listening to him and why I went over there and found the painfreedating.com program. But he talked about your playgrounds and your playmates. And that was just something that, I was like, wait a minute. He said, hanging with the wise, you become wise. And this is, I'm experiencing this. I talk about the Fortress Network a lot, but I'm experiencing this right now. So I'm not just walking the walk and not talking the talk and not walking the walk. I'm actually walking through this. And when you go and you find principles and concepts that actually, hit home, you're like, wait a minute, this has a lot of meat, a lot of substance to it. He said, hanging with fools, you will get hurt. Choose your friends wisely. They determine your trajectory of your life. Trajectory is the path, progression, or the line of development of a flight path. The right friends will lift you up, okay? And some of these things we think we already know, but sometimes we just need to hear it. We need to hear it again. So it's digital masterclass and online course, which is painfreedating.com. Love it, love it, love it. The concepts there, like I said, there was one program that he has. There's 3 tracks to it. You can go on over to his website though and kind of pick around there for yourself. But Single and Satisfied is for singles who celebrate their single life and they're not seeking marriage. To someone that's celebrating their single life. And the second track is Single and Seeking for the singles who desire to date, court, and marry. See, hold on, wait a minute. There's my word again. Courtship. That courtship time is so important. Let me tell y'all, the courtship is so important because it helps you to understand the person that you are looking to spend the rest of your life with. Sometimes we jump, and I jumped off the bridge twice, okay, or off the mountaintop twice. Sometimes we can jump and dive off based on old concepts and old precepts, things that we have been taught as we was growing up, not based on any real, factual data or, what's really going on. Do you understand that we go and we get people to help us with our finances, financial advisors. We get accountants to help us with our accounting. We go to school and we get teachers to help us with just about anything, with fashion, with, we get advisors and counselors for all of that. But second, because for me, God is my first, but the second most important relationship in your life, the person that you're going to build your life with, the person that you are could be the one that makes life or death calls on your life. We leave that up to chance? Let's think about that. Or up to happenstance? Like, really, does that make sense? So that courtship is so important because let me tell you, it saved me when I demanded, because now it's for me, it's a mandate. That's one of my standards. If I meet somebody and we meet each other and we are, we have chemistry, we're vibing, there has to be a courtship. Has to be a courtship and an abstinent courtship. Something else I learned today. Just actually, as a matter of fact, learned that today. The difference between abstinence and celibacy. I keep running around here saying celibacy, but I found out celibacy is what the priests take. They take a vow of celibacy that they're not gonna ever get married. And well, no, that's not what I was talking about. They're not gonna ever have sex. And no, that's what I was talking about. Wait, hold up, no, that's not what I was talking about. I was saying abstinence. Abstinence meaning to sustain, to the word just flew out of my head, but to give up, any type of sexual contact until I'm married. And that's what my vow of abstinence is all about. And it's so that I can get a greater understanding with myself, so that I can, continue to develop my spirituality, develop my relationship with God, and to also find my purpose, so that I'm truly walking in my purpose. And so I have a heightened sense of spirituality, so that my senses are keener. Because think about this, if you keep doing the same thing that you did and you keep, are we expecting a different result, or are we just walking in insanity? Or sometimes I think it's a point of walking unconscious. We're not actually consciously making decisions. We're just doing it out of just, what is it? I don't know. It's just, not really doing the work. That's the only thing that I can think of. We're not doing the work, and sometimes we're sleepwalking through life. We're making these decisions and putting out fires, making a decision and putting out a fire, putting out a fire, putting out a fire, making a decision based on the fire. You know what I'm saying? So again, going back, I digress sometimes, but going back to that courtship part, man, I'm telling you, it's nothing like the courtship. Because like I said before, I've discovered things in a courtship that had I not waited for the courtship part of it and walked through that process, had I not, and gotten into a marriage, there is no telling, again, another fire that would have had to be put out, Sometimes I guess folks say, they settle when it works. I don't know. But for me, the courtship is a key component that people have forgotten. Then he talks about track number 3, single and scared, for the singles who desire healing after a divorce or a toxic relationship. A lot of times we skip that step. We skip the step of healing after a divorce, healing after a toxic relationship. We go into PTSD in relationships. We go into post-traumatic stress in relationships, because guess what? We are not allowing ourselves to heal those trauma. And that trauma actually builds up in our cells. It goes into a deeper level. So that trauma, and then somebody can trigger something like folks that have gone through domestic violence. And you all know, again, from my past episodes, I'm a survivor of domestic violence multiple times. But think about this. When someone comes at you or jumps at you and you jump, not just because you're startled, but because it was something that's deep in your cell from fighting or being hit or what have you. So, it's like even in a car accident, I was in a car accident. I can't stand for a car to get too close to me when I'm driving. Can't stand for a car to screech behind me. Not only do it get on my nerves, but it actually, my body tenses up because it's an automatic reaction because that trauma has never been released from my body. And definitely, I'm going to have to do some work on that too, because you can release that trauma from your body. I went through a yoga class, and we're gonna keep going after this, but went through a yoga class, and it was an incredible experience, but I started to cry and I couldn't stop crying. And it was just warm tears. And she told me, the instructor, she told me that it was because I was releasing stored up trauma. When I say the whole mat was filled, so I think, or I believe that I need to go through a progression of multiple times so that I can, or multiple sessions so that I can release all of that stored built up trauma and come to a place of peace. See, this is the healing work. This is the work that needs to be done, and we need to recognize that work needs to be done. Getting back to the review on this fantastic, amazing program, some of the other things that that I learned in the program was your covering. Oh my goodness, the covering part of it. Your covering is who's covering you? Meaning that if you're out here making this decision, but you don't have good sound counsel, who's helping you through it? Who do you bounce ideals or look, I'm thinking about this, or he has this, and something that I was listening to when I was over there on Dr. Conway Edwards, listening to his master class. When he was talking about the covering, that was huge. But he was also talking about, because sometimes we just need somebody to bounce this off of, somebody healthy. A lot of times we go to our girlfriends and they're not in a healthy place, or they are actually advising us out of their past hurts and their past disappointments. They're not actually in a healthy place to be able to give you sound counsel, or sometimes they're giving you counsel out of just loving you and not just what's actually there. Okay, so that's another thing too, navigating you through the process through a healthy, with them having or being a healthy person themselves, helping you to deal with your baggage. That's one of the things that's as far as unpacking some of your baggage. Also, minimizing or ignoring. Are you minimizing and ignoring issues that are red flags? He talked about when he's in counseling and people come in, or women say, I never saw that coming. Now I have to go back and I have to really think about it. Did I see things coming? Maybe I didn't think or anticipate that it was going to happen, but based on that person's character or lack of integrity, or lack of uh, or not, I don't want to say a lack of thinking about you, but not actually being so self-centered or so into themselves. And again, we talked about getting into that narcissistic personality. You know, you see traits and things, but you don't relate it to that until you really start digging in. So the other thing that I wanted to cover in this review before we conclude it for today, because right now this program has me like in awe. I am just really excited. Or something that he said, adult warning here. He said porn. When a man watches porn, he's training his mind that a woman is only there for his pleasure. So when you get a woman and you're in a relationship with her, and you're not seeing her as a partner, you're seeing her as an object that is only here to serve you. And wow, that was one of the aha moments, because a lot of people say, well, I'm not cheating and I'm not this and I'm not that, but you're still training your brain and you're opening up your senses to certain, I want to go spiritual on us here today, but you're opening yourself up to your thought process, your thought pattern. You're training your brain in that vein. Okay. And I just wanted to just kind of speak to your heart a little bit about your authentic self and who are you. And I'm having a ball. Honestly, I'm really having a ball because I'm learning who I am. When I started to do the podcast, I was advised, or some folks was telling me, that, maybe because I am a naturopathic doctor, a wellness coach, and I am serious in that vein. And I do help people to overcome challenges. I teach, I coach. But being my authentic self is a part of why I embrace entrepreneurship, because I'm just me, and being that and opening myself up to somebody else, them being able to see my authenticity, then preferably that would be able to help them to say, wow, or identify, you know. Sometimes we look at people that that are accomplished in their fields, or or that have, we just look at them a little differently versus looking at them as, hey, somebody that's relatable, that have gone through some stuff and that have made some mistakes, and got up from it, have shook some dirt off and kept going. So I just want to be my true authentic self as I continue to heal myself and heal my issues. So this is my journey, and so I'm just letting you into my journey. Okay, so when you talk about your authentic self, finding your stride, meeting yourself, loving yourself, that's another thing. It's sometimes so hard for us to love ourselves. Not sure why. We've been taught to take care of everybody else, but before you can really love and take care of somebody else, you must learn self-care and love to take care of yourself. And I looked up authentic because I wanted to give you the definition of authentic. It's your real or genuine, not a copy or false. It's all true and accurate. That's who you are. One of the things I wanted to just to give everybody just a little reminder here: give yourself self-love. Take care of yourself. I want the definition here. Definition, or not definition, but to know what love is versus what love is not. Love is not controlling. It is not fearful. It's not possessive. Okay. And I will go to scripture on this here, because First Corinthians in scripture says, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things, and love never ends. Also later on, it says, love is patient. Love is kind. It is not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It rejoices with the truth. So I think here we go with the pain-free dating. 5 thumbs up, 5 thumbs up. Go ahead, Dr. Conway Edwards and Jada Edwards. Awesome program. I just, I'm going to leave you with this. Something that I had to definitely learn. I had to learn that life is a journey and not a destination. Enjoy this journey. Well, until next time, stay fearless, and I will see you on next time. Oh, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. 5 thumbs up for painfreedating.com. All righty. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.